So this week, readers and writers, we've been studying this sentence right here. Yesterday, we took a peek at this sentence and we just started to notice things, right? So yesterday we put this one up here. Before she lost her nerve, she stepped over the invisible line and onto the trail. This sentence comes from Kathy Applet and Allison McGee's book, Maybe a Fox. So yesterday I invited you to notice, and you said things like, I noticed that it starts with a capital letter. Well, that's because all good sentences start with a capital letter. Some of you noticed that it had a comma in it, and you weren't really sure what it was there for, but you caught the comma, you saw it. One of you noticed that they were using several prepositions. You mentioned like onto the trail, indicated where it was. So you guys noticed a lot of great things. This writer wrote this sentence a specific way to help the reader get clear mental images. But anything else today that you're just really popping out to you in this sentence? What do you notice, just real quick? Besides a few things you saw yesterday. Anything else capture your attention? How about spelling of words or special punctuation marks? Somebody?
Maybe lost her nerve.
Lost her nerve. What captures your attention there? What is that? Just kind of helps you see it, or?
Well, it's not exactly saying she lost it. It's just talking about her feelings.
Oh, can you really? Is that like, did she lose it under her bed? Is that what that means? Is the same kind of thing? I noticed in stepped, the P is doubled. Why is that? Why do we do that?
Short vowel, one syllable.
Yeah, you've been learning that since you were in 2nd and 3rd grade. Stepped you have to double the consonant when we add ed, right? Okay, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to invite you to compare and contrast. Because during this time, yesterday we were invited to notice, and today we're going to be invited to compare and contrast. And you'll see them up here as well, so that you have them up here on the screen. This is our original sentence from the published text. Now I want you to compare and contrast this sentence to this sentence, okay? So take about 30 seconds just to read both of them and tell me what you notice is alike and what's different between these two sentences. Just think for about 30 seconds. And I want you to think about all the similarities and all the differences. Paying very close attention. Because good noticers, they kind of crank up that analytical eye and they notice small things. Okay, I want you to turn and tell your shoulder partner what you notice is the same and what you notice is different. Have a quick 1-minute conversation. Talk for just a second.
She lost her
Notice it.
Yes.
They both had a comma. You notice that. What else? Okay, so that's just with their location they're going is different, but they're using prepositions in those sentences. What else?
They still have
That's an interesting observation. All right, did you notice a lot of changes and differences? Let's talk through them. Can somebody share out real quickly what's something that really caught your attention as a similarity? Something that seemed really like, they're exactly the same. Before she lost. Okay, so they both start with before she lost. One lost her nerve and one lost her courage, but they both start with the word before, don't they? Interesting. Okay, what else do you notice?
Just the whole sentence structure.
The whole sentence structure is the same, isn't it? Or these are kind of imitations, aren't they, of each other? You guys are going to be practicing writing your own sentence imitations, but here's the really exciting thing, guys. We've been looking at a couple of sentences for the last few weeks, and we're ready for the big reveal. These are 5th grade sentences, and if you want a big fancy college word, they have a subordinate clause at the beginning of the sentence, okay? And that big fancy college word is not that important, but here's what's important. Here's the focus phrase. Here's what we have to remember. When you begin a sentence with an all lubus opener, you gotta have a comma. It's gonna need a comma, right? Just like when you get your hands on a sentence, let's make it complex. So I have this that you can put in your readers and writers notebook to help you remember the all lubuses. But let's put up our hands, our 10 hands, right? Let's get them up. And we're gonna go through them really quickly because we need to remember that these 10 words are the most common subordinate clause words or conjunctions, subordinate conjunctions. So let's read them together. Ready? After, although, as, when, while, until, because, before, if, and since. When we see these coming, when I use an all rubus word at the beginning of a sentence, it's gonna need a what? Gotta have a comma. Just like we saw in these sentences here, we saw before she lost her nerve, comma, she stepped over the invisible line and onto the trail. And when we replicated it, but the all rubus words, before, is it one of our finger words? Where's before? There it is right here. We can try this out. Could you maybe think of another before phrase that you could use in a sentence?
When she lost her
When she lost her nerve, we could use that one. When she lost her nerve, comma, she stepped over the line. When would work, wouldn't it? These all rubus words will get us started with subordinate conjunctions and helping us. So I'm going to go ahead and have you put this in your journal as well, because these are some sample sentences from published text. So if you'll take one of those and pass those back. Now here's the deal. If you decide during writing workshop today that you want to start trying out these all rubus word sentences, if you put an all rubus phrase at the beginning of a sentence, what does it have to have? A comma. So I want you to try them out, and I want you to practice with these. When we first try them out, sometimes I see writers test them out, and they'll like try it, and they'll be working. I remember when I was like in 3rd grade, I had a teacher say to me, "You can't start a sentence with because. You're not allowed to." Well, it turns out I can start a sentence with because. I just have to remember that if I use it as an introductory phrase, it has to have a comma. And then it also has to have a sentence that comes with it, right? It has to have a comma that comes behind it. So, for example, because you are all sitting here listening so well, comma, see how I'm doing this? You are learning and hitting the targets that you're trying to achieve, right? So we're going to try this out in our writing today, but you might need these tools with you. So if you're out at Writer's Workshop and you're wanting to test out one of these all rubus word sentences, I want you to try them on. Tomorrow, yesterday we did invitation to notice. Today we're trying out compare and contrast and looking at how those go together. And then tomorrow we'll actually try to imitate. We'll try to see if we can write a sentence like Kathy Applett and see if we can test that phrase out, all right?